This is the Seahawkers podcast, week 3 post-game show. The Seahawks get the win 24-13. I'm Brandon Schultz, joined by my good buddy, Adam Emmert.
Now that is more like it, is it not?
That feels like how it was supposed to be done. How hard was that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like these were all the things that we were saying.
And yet, it takes until week 3. Maybe we just had, a couple extra preseason games to get out of the way on the road.
Well, just listen to Pete Carroll talking his post-game pressure. He's like, yeah, this was how we wanted to look, coming right out of the gate. I don't know why it took us like 2 weeks to find it. Like, me freaking neither. Chris Carson, 32 attempts, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Gets into the end zone on a 5-yard score early on in the fourth quarter to put the game up 23-6. They tack on the extra point. It was quite the game by Earl Thomas. We're just about a minute into this, Adam. And how has it taken this long to mention that the Seahawks, they need to pay Earl Thomas? Well, they're gonna. Like, I mean, I know you've gotten sucked into this Earl drama this week a little bit. And like, I mean, I think every time my text back is more or less just like, simmer down. Like, I mean, he's on our team, right? Like, because when I saw him like pick off passes today, 2 of them, by the way, he was wearing a Seahawks uniform and like balling out for the Seahawks. And he's on this team under contract, already playing. He's a Seahawk. The relentless talk of him being, involved with the Cowboys, especially throughout the broadcast, was just like, are you kidding me? Like, do we all not know what the truth is here? Like, I mean, have we lost our way?
Oh, well, you got to keep it going through the Cowboys game. Even the Cowboys coaches apparently were keeping it going, coming up to Earl Thomas before the game and saying, so you're ready to get traded to us on Monday?
Well, freaking duh, they did. You do every little thing you can to try to get in a player's head.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that was. It's called gamesmanship, people. Like, that's not a story.
And then you see Earl Thomas bowing to the sideline after he puts the game away. And, I mean, essentially ended. The Cowboys did get the ball back. But Earl Thomas bows to the sideline. And he said to Curtis Crabtree, tweeted saying, Earl Thomas on his bow to the Cowboy sideline, I felt like it was just in the moment. And if they was going to trade for me and extend me, they should have did it.
Yeah, because that's the player he is. So, look, this has been the Seahawks game plan this whole time. Like, make Earl play out this last year, or at least half of the first year. Make sure that he's still Earl Thomas, even though he's, 29, 30, whatever it is he is. And then pay him. Like, no, it's been the plan the entire freaking time. And sure, he may act up during the week. I mean, it's really the last thing that he has.
Yeah.
Like, so, but he's still on the team.
Yeah, he said that he's going to protect himself. And if that means that, he's got a headache or, feeling not 100%, then he can choose to sit out of practice.
That's exactly right.
And if we get 2 interception games out of Earl Thomas when he sits out of practice during the week, okay.
Yeah, 3 interceptions in 3 games. Yeah, looks like Earl's okay. The defense, I mean, let's talk about the defense as a whole. If Ken Norton Jr. did not get a game ball after this game, I don't know what to do because his game plan was fantastic.
How about that defensive line, 5 sacks against Dak Prescott?
No, not against Dak Prescott. Not against Dak Prescott. Against that Dallas offensive line, which is a good one. I know they aren't what they were, but they're still a good offensive line.
Yeah, they still have Zach Martin. They still have Tyron Smith.
Yeah, all this hand-wringing about where is the pass rush going to come from? Where is the pass? That's where it comes from. We just saw it today. Came from everybody. Came from Jarran Reed.
2 sacks on the day up the middle. You had one from Frank Clark. You had one from Michael Kendricks. And you had one from Barkevious Mingo.
Doesn't Michael Kendricks look like a pretty good sign at this point?
I wonder how long we'll have him is the only thing. But hopefully just in time for KJ Wright to get back, maybe?
Oh, well, at least. I bet you we have him for the season.
Oh, yeah, but it just depends on whether or not the NFL decides to throw discipline his way.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to. I think that would have already happened.
Or he could have appealed, and we're just waiting to see what happens, yeah.
Well, I haven't heard that. Have you?
I've heard that they disciplined him and that he appealed.
Maybe the discipline, too, is like a 2-week suspension. He's like, no, I don't want to be suspended 0 weeks. And they're going to be like, oh, okay, 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It could happen.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, if Zeke got like 6 for beating up a chick, like, doesn't he get like 2 for like trying to make a couple bucks?
We'll see. There's never been anything like it in the NFL, so I don't even know I don't know what to expect.
That's why I think this gets drug out for an entire season before anything happens. Because there's no precedent. It's not like they can just be like, well, this is what we do in these situations. Like, everybody's figuring it out on the fly.
Well, we've talked the secondary, we've talked the defensive line, we've talked linebackers. Now, why don't we move over to the offense? And we mentioned Chris Carson off the top with a 100-yard rushing performance. Penny was the running back who saw the second most carries, just 3 carries this week. And apparently now we're getting that promise from Pete Carroll that Chris Carson is the guy, and seeing 30-plus carries. I'm surprised he wasn't gassed in this game, Adam.
Well, yeah, in the press conference, Pete's like, yeah, I looked at him in the first quarter. He looked gassed, but maybe he just doesn't like the way his face looks. Maybe he just thinks he has a tired face.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, look, it's funny because we've gotten panned by a couple people in the YouTube comments about just like run the ball and give it to Carson. He's not that good, and abandon the run game and just start throwing it. If there was ever a game to prove us exactly right, it was this game.
And the game before.
Well, sure. But I mean, now it's not us saying this is what you need to do and it will be better. They did it and it got better. Like, so we actually saw it in practice. And I think it's very apparent now, and I hope everybody finally freaking agrees, that Chris Carson is head and shoulders above Rashad Penny right now. And just look at the difference in the way they run. Like, Penny's always trying to scoot it outside. It's all soft. And Carson finishes runs, finishes receptions. He has the attitude that we're looking for.
Russell Wilson, a good day from him. 16 completions on 26 attempts, 192 yards. And that long touchdown pass to Tyler Lockett, 52 yards. He finishes just 2 sacks on the day today, despite your starting center and your starting left guard sitting out. I thought Joey Hunt filled in well. All things considering, I think it looked pretty good with Posick and Britt sitting out.
What a difference DJ Fluker makes.
Holy smokes, yeah. Get Posick back in there, and I don't know if it matters who's at center. And I think things will be looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think the competition between Hunt and Britt will only bring out the best in both of those guys. So that was great to see. It's just, how could Russell Wilson have a good game? He regressed, remember, and he can't get the ball out on time.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. No, this.
Oh, wait.
He was fitting it in some windows too. He had the pass to Tyler Lockett and the pass to Marshall on the sideline. Holy smokes.
That was the one. That's one of those that when you see that, you're like, wow. That's a top tier NFL throw.
But Brandon Marshall, just 2 catches on the day for 30 yards.
Could have had 2 more.
Yeah, pretty easily. Yeah, 6 targets on the day. So, but Nick Vannett, Tyler Lockett, your 2 leading pass catchers. Of course, Lockett had the 77 yards, and Tyler Lockett with the turkey, 3 touchdowns in 3 games. Off to a great start for Lockett.
The idea that he is fully healthy and that makes a difference. I mean, I think we can see it now. I mean, it's obvious. It's just tremendous to see him step up with Doug Baldwin being out. I'm curious as to what Doug Baldwin's meltdown was about, and who was it that he was yelling at?
Tyler Lockett apparently was asked about it after the game, and he just said that Doug was kind of upset that he's not out there playing.
That's what it is, huh?
I'm sure that may have gone into it, but I don't think that's what he was going off about.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to hear that story throughout the week. Like, I'm curious to that one.
But it did show those 2 kind of make up on the sideline afterward, too.
Oh, yeah. Again, if you pretend like this doesn't happen on every NFL sideline, like, I mean, it does. And like, they're grown men. So you just fist bump, 5 minutes after and it's over, right? Like, you both got it off your chest, or at least Doug did. The other guy like nodded and stared off into the distance, like left his body.
He was yelling at Trent Kirshner, the co-director of player personnel. So kind of John Schneider's, number 2.
Okay. All right. So, I don't know. Was he saying like,
was that after the Earl Thomas pick?
It might have been. He's like, will you just pay the goddamn guy? Come on.
Because that could make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that could. But, just a tremendous all around game that felt like Seahawks football. I was excited to see them get to the things that we've all been hoping to see them get to. I mean, playing at home, we knew it'd make a difference, and it made a huge difference. So one step out of those 8, your mission accomplished at home. You got to get all those 8, and we're 1 for 1, 7 to go.
Definitely good to see the team back home. It really does. I think it just makes a difference in the mentality of the team, and it didn't hurt that. I don't think that Dak Prescott's the same quarterback that we remember him being a couple years ago either. And Ezekiel Elliott clearly couldn't do it all himself in this game. I look back, and that play where Zeke Elliott stepped out of bounds before he caught the touchdown pass, and the Cowboys have to kick a field goal instead. That, man, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I look at that point in the game and go, those 4 extra points, they would have been awfully helpful toward the end of the game when they had the ball and were potentially, it just would have made it a completely different game.
Yeah, I have no clue what Earl Thomas was thinking in that situation.
Oh, moving up to go after Dak, yeah.
You have to cover running backs when they go out.
Yeah.
And there was 2 dudes chasing Dak already.
Right. Yeah, Kendricks was there.
Yeah, it's not like he was forced into the position of, Dak's going to go for 40 yards or, cover Zeke. He had the support there. He just needed to play his role. That can get cleaned up. But yeah, thank goodness he stepped out of bounds. I thought the Seahawks did a tremendous job bottling up Zeke all game up until the end where he got the majority of his rushing yards just in garbage time, where they're playing soft and they're playing for the pass. And yeah, you're going to gouge him.
He had the one big run too. And Bradley McDougald, another guy who had a great game, comes from behind, punches the ball out. Justin Coleman falls on the ball. At that point, it had me wondering, do the Seahawks still have the best safety tandem in the NFL?
Boy, howdy. McDougald has been a revelation. I'm so happy he's on the team. He's had a hell of a season already. Not just a game, but a hell of a season. Tremendous pickup. So happy he's back there. Also, just thrilled for the return of Bobby Wagner. You can see the defense or the difference he makes on the defense.
4 solo tackles, 7 total tackles for Bobby Wagner. Earl Thomas, 6 solo tackles, 7 tackles, leading them as well. So a big day for those guys on defense, and just an overall good showing by the defense to hold the Cowboys to just 13 points.
Penalties for the most part kept low. A couple of dumb ones.
Third downs, Dallas was only 3 of 13, and the Seahawks, 7 of 16, 43%.
And if Brandon Marshall hadn't had the dropsies earlier in the game, we'd have been even better on that.
10 penalties for 67 yards. It didn't feel like the Seahawks had that many penalties.
No, it surely didn't. There are a couple that were a little boneheaded, like that Jerron Brown roughing the punter, or not. It was running into the punter. That was boneheaded. Yeah.
Oh, and then there was the penalty on the Dak Prescott flop.
Oh my gosh! Now look, I can't even be mad about that because the roughing the passer call that went against the Cowboys early in the game, when they had Russell Wilson, he threw the ball and
and they landed on him.
Taco Charlton, like what the hell else are they supposed to do? That is a perfect play by a defender. He didn't go for his head, didn't go for his knees. He didn't pick him up off the ground and shove him into the ground. He hit the guy like an NFL football player.
Well, yeah, you gave me a hard time about justifying the claim or being mad about the Clay Matthews.
No, I didn't. I thought that was a terrible call, but he did pick him up off of the ground and then drive him into the ground. But still, that's a terrible call. I didn't like that one. And Clay got nailed for another one today that was BS.
Right.
They showed a graphic of roughing the passer calls, and I can't remember what the exact numbers were, but it was 8 at this point in the season last year. It was 27 this year or something like that.
You have to sack them from behind and pull them down on top of you. I think that's the only way that you can do it.
No, that's not how you do it. You walk up to them politely, and you put 2 hands on them, and you say, I could throw you into the ground right now, but kindly go down as gently as you possibly can, and we'll call it a sack. Is that cool? Are we good? And then they still have to give consent, and then it can be a QB sack. Give me a break.
We aren't talking about what is and isn't a catch this year, I guess. So this is the new thing.
Yeah. Well, at least at this early juncture of the season, I think it's great that the Seahawks came out and showed the team that we saw coming into this season, in our mind's eye, what it could be. All the hand wringing after 2 weeks. Like, I mean, both you and I, Brandon, were on here saying, look, it's right there. Just got to do a couple little things. And they executed those couple little things. And I can't wait to start getting checks from the Seahawks.
It's clearly us, or either that, or it's Holly Stringer, who said, I know Brandon likes his conspiracies. I'm wearing my Marshawn Lynch jersey, watching the Seahawks win by 24 points as I celebrate my 24th birthday on the 24th of September. I think I deserve a little credit for the win, as it's clearly a birthday gift from the football gods.
Clearly, and the numerology doesn't lie there. So thank you, Holly. Also, I changed up my game day gear. I wore my new hoodie for the first time on game day, and no lucky hat because I think it might be exhausted. And I actually wore a non-Seahawks hat, and I think that might have to be the combo for a little bit here. Like I think I found it.
Yeah, well, what everybody did today is clearly what worked, and I'm kind of upset because I'm wearing my least favorite pajama pants today. And
oh no,
I don't want to have to wear them every week, but I will take one for the team and be back in these PJ pants next week.
Yeah. So be just slightly less comfortable for the team. Come on.
All right, Adam. Well, before we go, the only other guy I wanted to give a little credit to for this win was the penalty assist from Joey Hunt, who got Janikowski 15 yards closer at the end of the first half, and got us within range for a field goal on that 15-yard penalty. It would have been, it was a 47-yarder. A 62-yarder would have been a lot tougher, and they get the 3 points going into halftime.
That was one of those penalties where I was like, that's usually us doing something like that. Like, it was great to see the other team. I don't know, maybe Gregory hates dudes with long hair. Maybe he was jealous of his flowing mane. I don't know why you would pull that maneuver right there. But wow, what a poor decision. But even if it had been 62, like, I want to try that. Like, I'm watching Janikowski kick the football, and the power is completely there still.
Yeah, he could have made that from 62.
Yeah, just look at the way the Cowboys kicker was kicking, and even though he made his, and the way that, Janikowski kicks the ball, like, it's evident, like, one is far more booming.
All right, well, credit goes to him for the win. Credit goes to Russell Wilson for a couple touchdown passes.
And credit goes to us for finally getting the Seahawks to listen.
And with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Love running the ball.
It works.